All successful brands have this one solution in common. In this video, I'm going to share with you my six-figure personal branding process. This allowed me to advance my career on my own without others changing my job title for me. From my experience creating brands and ads for hundreds of big hitters, I know it works. I'll share what they all have in common and what gets results. This is not a hack video. I won't be showing you how to have AI make up your new brand or talk in circles so you watch more videos. I'm not selling a course. You're already in it. Together, we'll set up a business that looks professional with you as the founder. That means that your value as a business leader is the strategy behind your new personal brand. This is what your audience is looking for at higher levels, proof that you are established and motivated. This could be for your new career on your own, where you're the boss, or this could be strengthening your personal brand to help you get a higher quality position at your dream company. I'm going to be sharing my entire process with you, holding nothing back. I'm Alexander, and I run HuMade, a resource for your human-made brand. I've gathered everything that you'll need called the HuMade Brand Template Kit, which is a collection of my favorite templates, cheat sheets, and processes to build a brand. There's a link in the video description. If you want to look and sound memorable, grabbing that kit is the next step to escape a boring brand. Otherwise, by the end of this video, you'll know the steps to take my process and have everything you need to start a good-looking business and improve your personal branding tomorrow. Before we jump in, there are two myths I hear a lot from clients that you should get out of your head. Myth number one is that you have to be a creative expert to up-level your brand. A lot of people think that there's some special magic to creative professionals that makes them look professional, but that's wrong. Anyone can be creative. Design is about solving a problem with solutions that merge current resources with current goals. If you can find solutions that are obvious to everyone, then you're creative. Myth number two is that you have to earn accolades to score big clients before you can become an expert. Some people believe you can evolve yourself. You do not have to wait to be told what you are or what your brand is the best at. If you can show you know what needs to be known at that level, you can prove you deserve it. Now, if we're talking about a title that requires a specific education or certification, then go and get that. I'm not saying everyone is a doctor just because they say they are, but if you want to enter a creative career or show that you have manager skills or convey that your business is the best in town, there are ways to do that. We'll leverage the experience you do have and package it in a way that matches who you want to be. What others actually care about is, can you do what you say you do? Can you deliver on the promise? Can you do it well enough to make them look good? Are you functional? Is what you're offering going to make them money, and can you deliver on time? Which is why I'm going to help you show off your capabilities by designing a personal brand that flexes your skills and shows exactly why you're worthwhile. Let's go. First, let me go through the tools that we're going to use. Figma. This is the free design program we're going to use to collect all aspects of your brand. The messaging, the design system, everything. We'll work here the most. I've created a Figma template that you can use to follow along. Next is Pinterest. One of the first tools we'll use to gather inspiration and kick off the process is Pinterest. It's as easy as creating a mood board or inspiration board. Webflow. Later in the process, we'll end up with everything you need for a website that showcases you. I use Webflow because it's easy and my clients without any web design or development experience have little trouble using it themselves. You don't have to start anything from scratch here. I'll show you how to speed run by utilizing cheap or free pre-made templates that you can customize based on your brand. After working in Figma, Webflow is going to feel very familiar to you. The layout is similar and it functions on a similar canvas that gives you design freedom. If you want to design your site first in Figma, you can, and I'll show you a shortcut there as well. But Webflow is intuitive, and you can skip that step and go straight to design within Webflow and publish a website within this one platform. Other shortcuts. I'll share websites that could be useful along the way, like sites to find fonts, icons, illustrations, stock photography, and create color palettes. I personally don't use AI in my processes as I don't find AI results provide the right amount of honesty and originality, but you do you when it comes to the tools that you use. If you don't know how to use these tools yet, there's no reason to feel overwhelmed. I'll continue to share tips and point to resources for everything. So Take a moment to subscribe and keep an eye on my other videos. I promise the steps we'll take for you to become a recognized brand will simultaneously unlock clarity and will make it to the goal together. All right, so let's cover a quick overview of the entire branding process. This is the sequence I use for most of the projects that I work on. This is the best way I've found to break up the design process, and you'll find many creative professionals follow some version of these steps. With my processes, we collect everything we need early on and minimize revisions or wasted time by making sure we're aligned both from the get-go and throughout the whole project. Creative strategy comes first, and that's the plan, followed by goal setting, research or ideation, audience analysis, and messaging. Then we go into visual identity, which is the design system, includes the color system, typography guidelines, photography, or maybe illustrations, the logo systems, and those sorts of things. Bringing it all together, a site map and wireframes will help us create a landing page or homepage mockup, and eventually we'll create the entire website. Of course, this timeline is going to vary depending on the type of and size of the project and how quickly you can implement each stage, and this is going to come with experience. So you'll want to give yourself more time and be patient with yourself if you're just starting out. Feel free to rewatch the videos and do this a couple of times until you find what works best for you. A big part of the reason I'm able to deliver this so quickly are the templates and shortcuts that I've refined over the years to streamline this process, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you. You can find those below. Now let's get started. First, strategy. Here's my creative strategy templates. You'll find them within the HuMade Brand Templates kit. We're going to accomplish two things at once. One, we're going to define what sort of brand you want to become. And two, we're going to start forming the language needed that conveys you as the new brand. Any brand is 90% psychology and 10% design, and so a big part of your job is to understand the sales psychology, copywriting, and brand storytelling needed to get your message across. Essentially, this is all about crafting a story for your brand or your offer that serves your customers and gets them ready to buy from you. To do this, we need a good idea of who the audience is, what problems we are solving for them, and that you can help solve. How can you be a guide to their journey? Are there ways you can survey that audience throughout the process? Start pre-filling what you can with your own notes in the strategy templates, and then ask them questions about the rest. If you have someone in your life that fits your customer profile, ask them questions about their needs. Try discussing your ideas with someone who might be interested in your brand to see if they understand what you're trying to say. A lot of this process utilizes elements from Building a Story Brand, a book by Donald Miller, and I'll talk in depth on the subject in a future video. The important part is your brand should act as a guide to others who are on the journey that your product or service helps solve. Your customer is a hero, and you're the expert taking them there. Even in the case of a personal brand, you want to show that you're the expert that knows what needs to happen for them to accomplish their goal. Be clear in what you know and what you offer, and be concise. For other great books on the subject, check the video description. Step 2 is research. This is such a fun part of the process, so take your time and enjoy it. To make this part easy, we're going to use Pinterest. And Pinterest can't think for you, but it can help you out. So you'll need to learn how to make it dig deep and work best for what you need. First, write out a list of terms associated with your brand. Start with literal terms related to what you offer, and then branch out to feelings you want to convey and that your audience will have about their journey. Leverage the language you've gained from the strategy phase. A word map is also helpful here. My video on logo design utilizes word maps in the logo design process and is a great place to learn more. Then put these keywords in Pinterest as search terms and save your favorite pins to one pin board. Keep doing this for a while, and you can keep adding more at any time throughout the entire process. And soon enough, you'll have hundreds of pins that are tangentially related to your brand. Doesn't matter if the pins are clothes, textures, colors, photos, illustration, packaging design, anything really. What's important is that they inspire you and feel relevant to you and your audience. Once you're confident in what you've pinned, you'll probably see a few threads of consistency starting to emerge. Now's a good time to edit your board and remove anything that you feel no longer works or doesn't match the vibe that's appearing. Finally, we're going to move our favorite pins from Pinterest to Figma. Now, there are expensive plugins to do this, but I have a better solution. Go to your pin board, edit your board so that your most important pins are along the top first few rows, and save the board. Now zoom out in your browser while looking at it. Okay, take a screenshot. You might need to resize your window to get the amount of pins you want, but don't worry about grabbing all of them. Now, place that screenshot here on the brand inspiration page. You can always link to the pin board within your brand guidelines, but what's more important is that you show the visual inspiration at a glance. The next part of your research is competitor analysis. So, in your creative strategy, there's a section about competitors. You can do your own research here to find other brands in the space. Again, if you have a client or audience you can talk to about this, ask them about the competitors and what they like, don't like, or what you could do differently than them. Don't stick to just businesses of the same size as you. Consider larger brands as well that will become competition as you grow. Get ready for the bigger ponds. We're going to elevate this brand so you can compete with the big hitters. For a personal brand, you have competitors too. Look up people on YouTube, LinkedIn, and wherever else they might be who already have the job title you want or the same content you want to put out into the world. Take note of what is unique to them and why you think they're effective. All of the above should give you a good idea of your creative strategy. Keep filling out the other creative strategy sections. If you get stuck or feel overwhelmed, don't fret. I'm available for coaching. Check out humade.net to learn more. Now, you have the foundation you need to start organizing and curating your unique self. Next up, we're going to use that creative strategy to define your visual identity. The visual identity leads your brand and acts as the key to unlocking your creative potential. So let's get creative. In the research phase, we already started collecting some visual preferences. You probably noticed clear threads of ideas that interest you on your pin boards. Maybe everything has similar colors, or perhaps you collected a lot of soft things, perhaps a typography style keeps showing up. Make note of what's consistent and start cutting out anything that no longer seems to fit. Combine these thoughts with your market research to come up with a visual direction that will really set apart and elevate your brand presence. I suggest pulling your favorite 20 to 30 pins from the Visual Identity Inspiration Mood Board and bring them to Figma. You can use this board to show how the photography style, colors, and fonts are all going to work together. By doing this, you already made the next step so much easier. Now that you're fully inspired, we're going to leverage the mood board to go find the design elements we'll use to create your brand, like fonts and a color palette. In the templates offered below, I have a list of sites that I recommend for design inspiration, places to find stock photography, and what sort of fonts or font combos could work well for you. Use these resources to start filling out each section of your design system, which is known as a visual identity and is a core part of your brand guidelines. You can also grab the colors directly from your mood board with Eyedropper tool, and you might discover the names of fonts in your research. This part requires the most time and creativity, so I go more in depth with each section. Check out my other videos or keep watching this playlist as we go through each section together. Those sections are the color system, typography guidelines, photography and illustrations, and the logo system. So your creative strategy is set, your inspiration is organized, and you have a design system ready to go. The only thing left before we actually jump into designing anything and utilize the brand that we've curated is to get aligned on messaging. For most people, this can be the most painful part and it can really drag out the project timeline, but it's crucial content for your brand. So we'll start with messaging. You won't get noticed or stand out if you don't have a clear message. Your unique point of view is conveyed through your writing. This is the baby, the rest is all the carriage. Don't forget, we already did a lot of the legwork for this earlier in our creative strategy phase, so feel free to leverage the Humade brand template kit to follow along as we fill in the rest. We'll structure our messaging the same hierarchy as the website landing page because the website really is the home or heart of your brand. We'll start with a sitemap of core messaging, which will naturally evolve into a sitemap wireframe. The sitemap helps organize our big buckets of information and outline the brand strengths. So when it comes to a website, you have your brand goals and you have your audience goals, and the website strategy sits in the middle of this. It has to satisfy the needs and questions of your users when they come onto here, and then effectively guide them towards the action that you want them to take. This is going to lay out all of the content sections and will determine if we can do it all in one page or if we'll want multiple pages. Now, there are a number of sections that make up every website. Once you learn these, it becomes very easy to plan this and piece everything together. So within the template kit, I have instructions for a site map of all the key sections that make up a high converting website. Writing it all out like this first is going to help you see how everything works together and then it will be clear if anything is missing. Once our sitemap is structured, these templates will help you fill in all of the content. It acts like an outline. And this will help you decide if the home page will be enough or if you need additional pages to house more in-depth content. Once we have the site mapped, we move over to the wireframes. I have a suggested layout for the wireframes, but you can modify the order to fit your needs. There are instructions and guides as you fill this in to help make this easy. These instructions are for a services-based website, so you'll likely need to tweak these if you have a different offering like e-commerce. Within these guides on how to fill this in, and then each page is broken down into the key section that you need for a successful website design with copy prompts and examples. They'll also help you get everything else you need for SEO, website policies, service pages, the contact form, and so on. As you fill in more copy in the wireframes, you'll realize the site gets repetitive, and that's a good thing. People glance and don't read everything, so any section should be informative. Like I mentioned, we're going to start with website messaging, but you can use what you learn here across ads, presentations, and many other marketing materials in the future. It's up to you to do what works best for you and fill out the content of your website. You know your brand better than everyone. If you're doing this for work for a client, this should be the most collaborative portion of the project, or you can work collaboratively with a copywriter. For a deep dive on website messaging, keep watching the videos in this series. You'll learn how to position what you write and say in concise ways that help you stand out and be memorable. Having these templates ready to go is going to make this so much easier and quicker so you can actually get what you need to start designing the website. That's especially important for the next step, which is bringing it all together with a fully designed website. Okay, you have a visual identity, you have brand messaging, and you already started lining up that brand messaging with the sections of the website. In technical terms, we have a wireframe ready to go, but it isn't pretty yet. We need to combine the visual identity with the wireframe. Now, you can take the design elements of the visual identity and scan or paint your wireframe to show everything in use. The easy way to do this, which will save you so much time, is to start with a Webflow template. There are plenty of free and inexpensive Webflow templates at webflow.com/templates. Take a look around, preview a few, and select the one that you like the most. Don't worry too much about the colors and fonts used. We're going to change all of that to match your brand. Before you purchase the template, hit the Preview in Browser button and copy the URL of that page. Pay attention to animations, if it's a one-page or multi-page template, and if the sections they give you can align with the sections you have in your wireframe. Use this Figma plugin to copy the example template into Figma. I go in depth on this in a future video. Now, use Figma to modify the mockup to match your design system elements. If you're confident, you can skip this step, buy the template, and do this all in Webflow. But if you're not sure if the template is the right fit, this is a good way to try your brand design before you buy the template. Once you're confident you chose the right template, don't worry about finishing every little detail in the mockup. Go ahead and buy the template and go to Webflow. Use Webflow to create each section, filling in the content as you go and arranging each section to match your wireframe. If you get stuck, I recommend checking out my video on website design, or reach out for one-on-one coaching. More info on coaching is available on humade.net. So just like that, congrats! We're ready to launch your new website. You're ready to launch your brand and start interacting with your audience. This video was a very brief overview of the entire process. Please stick around for more videos that go in depth on each section. As you saw, this entire process is straightforward when you know what to do. If you want to use this setup for yourself, then you can get this exact Humade brand template kit with all the materials I use for designing and launching a new brand below. It covers everything you just watched, including creative strategy, the brand story, audience insights, the site map, the visual identity, and more. You can take all of this and literally copy and paste to start your own brand like this for you or your clients tomorrow. Even if you're not working in Webflow, I really recommend taking the time to set up the processes you've seen in this video in your desired website platform. A website is a perfect spot between your idea of your brand and where your audience can find out more about you and start interacting with you. Eventually, they'll convert to customers. So again, congratulations, you made it through this long video. This really is the key to unlock your brand potential, and here's why. After watching this video, you have the knowledge to go and build a $10,000 brand tomorrow, and you did it yourself. But it's more than just a collection of decisions, it's a central repository of your new brand. It's brand guidelines, complete with a design system. It holds everything: your visual identity, your messaging, and the core of your marketing decisions. You have the Figma with everything neatly organized, and you have a working website that shows everything in use. Surprise! I just gave you two often very expensive deliverables at the same time. Many brands pay tens of thousands of dollars to get to this point. This is what all multi-million and billion-dollar companies do. They have a place of truth for their brand, both visually and from a messaging standpoint. And now, just like them, you have everything organized in a place that's shareable with anyone who helps you build the next steps of your brand. Having creative strategy and brand guidelines like this allows other people who work with you to create more deliverables for you that are on brand. It allows your brand to stay focused and on message. And if you've watched all the videos in this series, you have everything you need to start attracting clients. You can use what you have to enter the public with your new business or use it to take your personal brand to the stars. So, if you haven't done so already, make sure to go and watch those videos in this playlist. They go in depth on the topics we discussed today. If you've made it all the way through this series, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate the support. A like and a subscribe go a really long way. If you loved it, tell me in the comments and let me know what you'd like to see on the channel next. Now, I have a couple parting gifts for you for staying through to the end. Stay inspired, and thanks for watching. Today's educational resource of the day is Building a Story Brand 2.0 by Donald Miller. And if you guessed that today's color would be Hex FFA87E, you were right. Comment with a mountain emoji with what you think this color should be called. Thanks for watching. Visit humade.net for more templates and tips.